If you're taking this lesson, there's a good chance that you're new to the world of special education, or you have questions about your rights as a parent of a child who qualifies for special education services. Understanding your procedural safeguard rights is the first step in becoming a strong advocate for yourself or a loved one with a disability. So let's start with the basics. The procedural safeguards are a set of rights, protections, and processes included in the federal special education law known as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or the IDEA. The Procedural Safeguards Notice is a document containing these rights that's given to the parents of children who are either eligible for special education or children for whom there's reason to suspect they may be eligible for special education services. Let's clarify a few things though. It's a document given to parents. Under the IDEA, the term parent can include a number of individuals besides a biological parent. When the term parent is used in the Procedural Safeguards Notice, it means any of the following: a biological or adoptive parent, a foster parent, a guardian authorized for either general or educational purposes, an individual acting in the place of a biological or adoptive parent, including a grandparent, step-parent, or other relative with whom the child lives, or an individual who is legally responsible for the child's welfare, or an educational surrogate parent. So remember, when you see or hear the word parent in special education, depending on the child's circumstances, it can mean any individual on that list. The procedural safeguards are also available to adult students with disabilities who are eligible for special education and have reached the age of majority, or in other words, have turned 21 and are now legal adults. When an eligible student turns 21, the procedural safeguard rights transfer from the parent to the student. Okay, so now that we've clarified that, let's go back to the original explanation of what the Procedural Safeguards Notice is. The Procedural Safeguards Notice is a document listing the rights held by parents of children who are eligible for, or whom there is reason to suspect may be eligible for special education services. We understand who is included in the IDEA's definition of parent, and we know they have to be parents of either an eligible child or a child for whom there is reason to suspect may be eligible for special education services and supports. What does that mean? Children who are eligible for special education have been evaluated and determined eligible for special education services and supports under one of the 13 IDEA disability categories. These students have an individualized education program, or an IEP, which explains the child's strengths, challenges, goals, specialized instruction, services, supports, and accommodations. Children for whom there is reason to suspect may be eligible for special education are children who have not yet been evaluated and determined eligible, but, based on their individual circumstances, may be showing a need for more support either behaviorally, academically, or even socially. This might include students receiving intensive interventions through general education, a student who has a diagnosed disability from a medical provider, or a child who is in the process of being evaluated by the school to determine if they're eligible for special education services. Or it may be that you, as the parent, suspect the need for special education, and the district agrees that there is reason to suspect a disability and the potential need for special education. Let's go back one more time to our original explanation of the Procedural Safeguards Notice and see if we've got a better understanding. The Procedural Safeguards Notice is a document given to parents of children who are eligible for, or whom there is reason to suspect may be eligible for special education services. Remember, the school has a duty to inform parents about the procedural safeguards at least yearly. There are other times they are required to provide it too, and those are when the child is initially referred, or when the parent makes a request for an evaluation, when the school receives notice that a parent has filed a due process complaint, when the school receives notice that a state complaint was filed on behalf of the child, when the parent requests a copy of the procedural safeguards, and at certain disciplinary procedures. Make sure you review your Procedural Safeguards Notice and let your school team know if you need further explanation.